People were screaming before the truth even came out, because the moment the chandelier crashed in the middle of the hall, everyone turned toward the one table nobody expected to see occupied, Yang and Dilraba, sitting together in the corner of the most expensive restaurant in Shanghai, and whispering like they were guarding the biggest secret of their lives. The incident happened in less than a second. The glass shattered, waiters froze, guests gasped, but Yang stood up instantly, pulling Dilraba gently toward him as if he'd been expecting something to go wrong. The scene felt unreal, almost staged, and everyone who witnessed it claimed the same thing. The two stars didn't look surprised. They looked prepared. That single moment was enough to send social media into a meltdown. How long had they been meeting? Why were they alone? And most importantly, what were they planning? But the story did not start with the chandelier. It began hours earlier. The restaurant was known for its privacy, no paparazzi, no loud music, no unwanted eyes. Only a handful of ultra-VIP guests ever stepped inside. But on that night, two separate black cars arrived within minutes of each other. Yang walked in first, wearing a simple black suit that made him almost unrecognizable. He didn't speak to anyone, didn't take out his phone, and didn't even order right away. He just waited. 5 minutes later, Dilraba entered through a private door. Her dress was elegant but surprisingly low-key. She removed her mask slowly, looked around, and then walked straight to Yang's table as if they had rehearsed this moment 100 times. No greetings. No awkward smiles. Just two people who already knew exactly why they were there. The waiters noticed something strange immediately. Dilraba kept checking the entrance. Yang kept glancing at the upper floors where the VIP rooms were located. It was the type of behavior you'd expect from business partners waiting for a high-stakes meeting, not two celebrities grabbing dinner for fun. But then things shifted. After the initial tension faded, their expressions softened. Dilraba leaned in first, whispering something that made Yang's eyes widen. He covered his mouth with his hand, trying not to react too loudly. That was the first moment that made the staff suspicious. Whatever she said wasn't casual. Minutes passed, and the mood changed again. They weren't laughing, but they were speaking closely, intensely, like people planning something that required absolute secrecy. Was it a drama project? A brand collaboration? Or something far more personal? People at other tables kept glancing over, but neither of them seemed to care. They were too focused, too serious, too locked into the conversation. Then the food arrived, an extravagant set of dishes usually only ordered for special celebrations: lobster, truffle risotto, gold leaf desserts. Yang insisted on switching plates with Dilraba, quietly telling her, "This one's better for you." She smiled like she already knew he would say that. That single gesture reignited every rumor fans had ever whispered about them. But the real shock came when a man in a gray suit walked past their table and dropped a small envelope beside Yang's plate. No greetings, no explanation. Just a drop-off. Yang picked it up immediately, slipped it into his jacket, and continued talking like nothing happened. That was the exact moment the chandelier began to shake. Witnesses later said the vibration was caused by a minor electrical issue. But what nobody can explain is why Yang reacted before it fell. He stood quickly. He reached for Dilraba instantly. And he shielded her with his arm as if he had been waiting for something to go wrong. When everything calmed down, the two didn't scream. They didn't panic. They just exchanged a look. A long, unreadable look, half relief, half confirmation. It felt like something big had just been decided. The restaurant staff tried to escort guests out, but Yang quietly insisted on settling the bill first. Dilraba didn't leave his side. They walked out together, talking softly, ignoring the cameras that had already started gathering outside. From the moment they stepped into the night air, two things were crystal clear. They weren't hiding anymore. And whatever brought them together was far bigger than a simple dinner. Online theories exploded instantly. Some fans swore it was romance. Others believed they were finalizing a career-changing project. A few people insisted the envelope contained something connected to a new brand, a secret film, or even a personal agreement. But the most interesting part? None of them have denied anything. Not the meeting. Not the dinner. Not the mysterious envelope. Not the moment Yang protected her. Silence is sometimes louder than a statement. So the question remains. Was that night the beginning of something real? Or the final step in a hidden plan they've been building for months? Only Yang and Dilraba know the real answer. But one thing's for sure, whatever happened at that luxury dinner has set off a chain reaction that the world isn't ready for. And this story? It's only just beginning. But the aftermath of that night quickly became more mysterious than the dinner itself. Hours after they left the restaurant, an anonymous account posted a blurry photo of the envelope Yang received. It wasn't clear enough to read, but the outline looked like an official document, thick paper, an embossed seal, and a signature mark in the corner. Some people assumed it was a contract. Others believed it was something personal. But a few sharp-eyed fans noticed something strange. The seal looked exactly like the symbol used by a high-profile charity foundation known for recruiting celebrity ambassadors in secret before public announcements. This theory would have been harmless if not for one detail. Both Yang and Dilraba had been quietly involved in private charity work for months, though neither of them talked about it publicly. Suddenly, the idea of the two working together behind the scenes didn't sound so impossible. In fact, it made everything even more intriguing. Still, that wasn't the only development. The next morning, several guests who were at the restaurant came forward with details that didn't make it into the first wave of rumors. One guest claimed that before the chandelier incident, a heated argument was happening upstairs between two unknown individuals. Another said that the electrical system in the restaurant had been acting strange for days. But the most shocking claim came from a staff member who insisted that Yang requested that exact table 2 weeks earlier, before anyone else booked it, before the menu was planned, and long before Dilraba arrived. If true, that meant the dinner wasn't spontaneous. It was planned. Carefully. And Dilraba's arrival wasn't accidental either. The same staff member said she entered through a door used only for VIPs who want complete anonymity. She didn't stop at the front desk, didn't sign anything, didn't speak to anyone. She walked straight in like she had already memorized the layout.